Hey there, welcome to CodeChef. Today we are going to be discussing the project Log File Parser, which is part of our course Java Projects for Beginners, where we have 10 different Java projects from which beginners can get familiar with Java. So let's begin. So we're going to build a simple log file parser in which we are going to be generating random log messages with tags like info, warning, and error. So basically, log file is a file which contains the list of whatever has happened in a particular database or an application. Like let's say a user logs in, then that should be logged in the log file. Basically, it's like a register present at the entrance of a hotel, except it's going to mark every event which happens. So let's just look at the end product on the right side. So if I give generate a new log entry, and if I give generate a new log entry again, if I view all the logs, you can see I have generated two different logs. For now, we're going to be generating random logs. That is, it won't be according to what we're doing over here. We'll just see will be chosen out of a random list. And if I give filter logs by level, and I want to see according to error level, so yeah, I've gotten the log which has error level. Similarly, if I give view log statistics, I can see the most recent log, the number of logs at each level, and the total number of logs. So over here we have the flow of the log file parser. So we have to take user input and choose action based on what the user wants to do. If user wants to generate a log, then we're going to randomly select a log level, that is info, warning, or error, and randomly select a message, and then we're going to print it out properly along with the timestamp. And if the user wants to view all logs, we're going to display each log present in the log file, and you have to open the log file in read-only mode when we are viewing the logs, and when we are generating the logs, we have to create a new file and write it in a new login. And while generating a log, we need to open it in read and write mode. And if the user wants to filter logs by level, once again we're gonna read the log files and display only the logs which match the level given by the user. And if your user wants to search log by keyword, it's pretty much the same. We're gonna search the logs according to a keyword given by the user. And if the user gives view log statistics, we need to give the total logs. We need to give the number of total logs present and the number of different levels present at each log. That is, let's say I have 2 warning level logs or 2 error level logs. The first subtask of the log file parser project, we're going to be looking at generating the log. In real projects, as I told previously, log is going to capture system events like action, errors, or warnings, and we have an example over here. But right now we're just doing a random generator because we just want to show how a log file parser works. And here we have our objectives for this particular subtask. So we need to randomly select the level, that is error, info, or warning, and we have to randomly select the message too. And we need to make sure the data in which we print out, it should be formatted in a way users can read it. And we need to write it to the logs.txt file using a file writer. We will look into what a file writer is. So after the log has been added successfully, we're going to print out new log entry added. Coming to the code, we have our imports over here. Now what we're doing is we're going to be defining a bunch of arrays so that you can randomly select the level or the message from it. So first we're going to have our log levels array, which is going to have info, warning, and error. And we have our messages array, which has all the messages which is going to be printed out. And over here we're going to initialize a new log file called logs.txt. And this log file isn't necessarily the name of the log file. You can either give the path of the log file which might already exist, but for now we're just going to give logs.txt. Now we are creating an object of the scanner and random class over here. Now coming to the log generation part, that is the generate log function. First we're going to create a variable called timestamp, and we're going to get the local datetime using this particular line. And in the local datetime class, we are importing the .now function, which will give the current time. And after that, we're going to format the current time which we get, because the time which we get from this particular class is not in a readable format. It will be very vague. So instead, we're going to be formatting it in a way which we want to. And after giving format, we're going to write the datetime formatter over here, and we're going to give a pattern in which we want to format the datetime. So if you notice, we have given year, month, day, and after that we have given the time, that is the hour, minute, and second. So basically we are telling Java to give a timestamp which will be formatted in this way, and this is where we select the random level from the level array, that is level equal to log levels, which we initialized over here, random.nextend log levels.length. So why have we given log levels twice? So over here what we are doing is, in this particular line over here, we are going to generate a random number which is within the length of the log levels array, As you can see, we have given random.nextInt, which will choose a random number between 0 and whatever is present over here. And here we are given log levels.length. So length will be 3. So we're going to generate a random number between 0 to 3, which will be 0, 1 or 2. And then whatever is present at that particular index, we're going to return it to level. That is, level will contain the actual level present in the log levels list. So we're doing the same thing for the message part. That is, we're going to randomly generate a number which we'll use as an index to reference to any element in the messages array. Now finally, we're going to create another string called log entry, where we'll first print out the timestamp which we got over here, and then we're going to print out a square bracket, and then we're going to print out the level, and once again a closing square bracket, and we're going to print out the message. Now we have try and catch block over here. So what is try and catch block? So try and catch block is a way to catch errors in Java. That is, we're going to try whatever code is present in the try block, and if we catch an error, we're going to perform whatever is present in the catch block. So let's look at the try block. So here we're creating a new file writer object, and over here we're giving the path of the file, and after that we're going to reference the file writer object using writer. So we're going to give writer.write log entry plus new line character. So basically we're going to be writing this log entry into the log file text file which we gave over here, that is logs.txt, and then after that we're going to print out a new line character so that next time user generates a log, it's going to be printed in the new line. And after that we're going to close the writer object, and we're going to print out new log entry added. And if we catch any error, then we're going to print out error writing to this log file. Now over here we have our user choice function, where we're going to give switch cases for each particular function. That is, one switch case for generate log. For the case 2, we're going to give out view logs. Similarly, we'll give until all the functions have been given. And the default case will be invalid choice try again. That is, if user gives 7, 8 or 0 or any other number outside of what is present in this particular switch cases. And in the main function, we're going to run an infinite loop and print out the menu. And after that, we're going to pass it on to the user choice function over here after taking input from the user. Now you might be wondering what is .trim. .trim is basically going to remove any white space which might be present at the start or end of the input. Therefore, it's going to normalize all the input without any white space. And then we're going to pass it on to the user choice function. And after that, we're going to print if choice equals 6 break. So let's just run this code once. So let me generate a new log. So I've got the message new log entry added. Let me generate another log. So I've added it twice. Let's just submit this code once. So I've passed both the test cases. Let's move on to the next subtask.